Is your first time that you've been filmed? You cooking?
It's the first time I've been filmed cooking. Yes.
So are you nervous?
A little bit because usually I cook and no one is watching.
Hello， 今次咧我哋咧呢度唔係我哋屋企啊，呢個咧係
阿 Ben 其實望住我哋，
其實而家阿 Ben 望住我哋噶。嗱，呢度咧就係Hong Kong Watch 總監嘅Benedict Rogers 嘅屋企嚟嘅。今次咧我哋嚟到呢度咧，上次我哋就即係
做訪問啦。
上次我哋嚟呢度做訪問啦，做佢嘅專訪啦。咁啊，做一個禮拜咧就已經即係 publish 咗專訪小人物嘅啦。未睇嘅話咧可以睇翻。今次我哋嚟呢度嘅目的係咩咧？
嚟食飯同埋玩，因為阿 Ben 屋企有好多得意嘅嘢啦，我哋冇見過嘅嘢啦，咁啊，所以我哋一陣會逐一介紹。
雖然阿 Ben 咧係望住我哋嘅，但係咧其實佢係整緊嘢食嘅。我哋一陣咧就走入去個廚房咧，睇下佢究竟整咩俾我哋食啦。
今日我哋嚟到阿 Ben 嘅屋企啊，睇下佢搞緊咩事。Oh, hi Ben! You're cooking.
I'm cooking, yes.
So what are you cooking?
I'm cooking chicken mandalay.
Okay.
So I already prepared the chicken. Basically, I rolled the chicken pieces in flour and a little bit of curry powder, and then browned it. Not cook it completely, but browned it in a frying pan. I did that earlier, and now I'm making the sauce to go on it, and then I'll put it in the oven. And then later I'll make the rice and some spinach.
Okay. Is that the first time you cook this?
No, I've cooked it a few times, but not for a while. Probably not for a year, I think. But over my life, many times.
Okay.
I always put in more than the recipe says.
Oh.
I like to. I don't stick to the ingredients the recipe asks for.
Is that soy sauce?
That's soy sauce, yeah. And some things I put more in, some things I like. So apricot and soy sauce I put more than the recipe says. But for vinegar, I should use this spoon. Because vinegar is quite strong, I just put in one. And then, so this is chicken stock. Boil a little bit, and then I'll put it on the chicken. When I have time, I like cooking because I find it, even just for myself or for other people, I find it very relaxing and a good way of like switching off from all the serious work that I work on.
Is your first time that you've been filmed? You cooking?
It's the first time I've been filmed cooking. Yes.
So are you nervous?
A little bit because usually I cook and no one is watching, so it doesn't matter if I make some mistake or. But on camera, it's.
So have you made any mistake this time?
Not that I'm aware of. No. I like cooking Asian food, Italian food, sometimes curries, sometimes roast chicken or roast lamb. Yeah, I like cooking lots of different things. I like to have something to drink while I cook.
So what is this today?
So this is Moretti beer, Italian beer. I don't usually drink when I'm being interviewed.
This is really the very first time.
Yeah, and I think it's also the first time that I've been filmed writing characters. So, yeah, so three firsts.
依家咧，我哋喺阿 Ben 嘅 living room，咁咧，我打住燈啦，因為光唔係幾夠。咁咧，living room 入邊咧最 eye catching 嘅咧，就係 sofa 上面嗰張相。 嗰張相咧，我一度以為係阿 Ben 啲侄仔咁樣啦，但係結果唔係。
Well, it's actually me when I was a child, I guess maybe around 5 or 6 years old. And I wouldn't normally have a picture of myself there, but my mother was moving house, and she used to have this picture but didn't have space for it. So instead of it being thrown away, I said, okay, I'll take it. And then I didn't know where to put it, so I just put it there. And it's quite funny. I guess it kind of reminds me of, because I'm wearing a cowboy hat there, and I guess I'm quite an adventurous person. I've travelled a lot internationally. I've travelled to some quite risky places, and I suppose in a childhood sense, this picture kind of captures part of my character of being quite adventurous and maybe a little bit naughty.
Okay.
即係阿 Ben 幾張即係本身似係工作台嘅一張台咧，裱起咗嘅啲相咁樣嘅，咁好都好 British 嘅呢一個做法都係咪？即係好似好英國家庭咁樣嘅形式嘅。咁上面有2張咧都幾特別嘅嚇，咁就一張咧就係似乎係唐寧街10號嘅一啲信件啊。咁我哋就問下 Ben 究竟係咩嚟嘅咧？
So the first was when I was, I think, about also 5 or 6 years old. I drew a picture, just a child's drawing, and I sent it to Margaret Thatcher when she was Prime Minister. And surprisingly, she wrote back personally. So that's the first letter, so it's now quite old. The second letter was when David Cameron resigned as Prime Minister. I wrote to him to say that I was sorry that he had resigned. The reason I did that was that I had supported his campaign for the leadership of the Conservative Party back in 2005, and I'm quite active in the Conservative Party, so I didn't know him well, but I had a little bit of contact with him. So I wrote that letter, and he wrote back in response.
Will you write anything to Boris Johnson if you have chance? And tonight?
I think I'll wait and see, but unlikely. If I was going to write to Boris Johnson, I would write to him about an issue like Hong Kong. Indeed, I have written in the past to him about Hong Kong, but that would be the only reason I would write to him. I don't have any particular personal connection with him.
咧，我哋喺張台隔離咧，見到張都幾舊嘅相嘅，咁似乎都好有價值啊。
I was privileged to interview John Major before he became Prime Minister. He was the Chancellor of the Exchequer, or the Finance Minister at the time. But I actually went to number 11 Downing Street, which is where the Chancellor lives, just next door to 10 Downing Street. And I think I was about 15 at the time. And I interviewed him, and then he was very kind. He actually asked me if I would like to see inside number 10 Downing Street, the Prime Minister's residence. And he took me through the connecting door between number 11 and number 10, and just showed me a little bit of inside number 10. So that's what this photo is with John Major.
即係呢一張咁有價值嘅相啦，即係同呢個馬卓安嘅合照啦。隔離咧有啲都幾重要嘅咁樣啊，有一把黃傘啊，係啦，飽歷風霜嘅黃傘。咁似乎咧 Ben 都對於黃色嘅嘢都幾着迷嘅其實。
Well, after I started to get involved in speaking out for Hong Kong, of course I knew that the yellow umbrella was a very important symbol for the movement, particularly from the 2014 umbrella movement. And so I bought a yellow umbrella, and I use it at every opportunity where it's appropriate. Of course, if I'm speaking at an event inside Parliament or somewhere else, then of course I don't use the umbrella. But if I'm outside, even if it's not raining, but especially if it is raining, then if I'm at a Hong Kong event, I use the yellow umbrella. And if I can't use the yellow umbrella, then I always try to have a yellow tie. And now I even have a yellow face mask. No one will be surprised to know that my sympathies are very much with the yellow camp. I advocate and I support those who advocate for democracy and human rights, Hong Kong's autonomy and the rule of law, all of which has now been dismantled in Hong Kong very rapidly. So my sympathies are very yellow. Yeah.
唔知呢一個擺設咧，呢個擺位咧，係咪阿 Ben 精心設計過嘅咧？
It's definitely deliberate. The Winnie the Pooh I was given actually in Taiwan about 2.5 years ago, and I feel a certain solidarity with Winnie the Pooh because I was denied entry to Hong Kong in 2017. And I think about 6 months after that, Winnie the Pooh was banned in China. So I feel, a certain affinity with Winnie the Pooh. And then the other one underneath it is an Australian koala bear, which I was given by the Australian High Commission in London. And I have that there in solidarity with Australia because Australia has been very vocal and very courageous in the last few years in standing up to the regime in China and has come under a lot of pressure from China as a result. And then, of course, I have the Lady Liberty statue with the Hong Kong slogan there. I was given that by Hong Kongers in Canada just recently. I'm just going to check the rice. This is probably not the Hong Kong way. This is like the fusion way. I think it's good. It's jasmine rice.
Oh.
Yeah.
嗱，阿 Ben 話而家個飯已經 OK 啊，但我哋嚟講咧，可能似粥多啲啦。
So I'm just going to put it there for the moment, and then I'm.
呢個好正啊！呢個咧就係阿 Ben 嘅 Chicken Medley。呢個係佢就話咧係一個緬甸再加呢個西方嘅一個 fusion。
係阿 Ben 嘅撚手好菜。
好啦，而上面呢個咧就係 Ben 啱啱話已經搞掂嘅飯啦。
Yeah. Where are you? Are you going to sit here? Okay. Shall I?
No problem. 見到阿 Ben 整到滿頭大汗。Wow.
So I hope it's okay.
頭先咧，我哋就食完正餐啦，食咗雞啦，咁一陣咧仲有甜品添喎。甜品咧今日咧就會係 plum and pear crumble with custard， 好期待啊！等食咯。
So unfortunately, the custard is not homemade. the dessert is homemade, but the custard is. So this is a quite typical English dessert, which I made earlier. It's plum and pear crumble. So it's I chopped up the plums and the pears and made crumble with flour and butter. and then bake in the oven for about 45 minutes.
Okay.
And it's served with custard. I'd like to say to all of the audience, 聖誕快樂!
Yeah!
我哋已經咧喺阿 Ben 屋企咧翻咗自己屋企啦。咁點解我哋唔喺阿 Ben 屋企做埋個尾踢走咧？咁樣咁因為咧，即係我哋遇到非常之多嘅技術故障啊，
冇錄影到啊。咁啊即係見到時間已經越嚟越晏啦，所以就費事搞住阿 Ben 啦，就諗住翻屋企先至慢慢做啦。
係啦，咁啊今日聖誕節啦，咁所以就祝大家聖誕快樂啦！多謝收睇，各位。其實佢係整緊嘢食嘅，我哋一陣咧就走去廚房咧，睇下佢究竟整咩俾我哋食啦。